Firstly, hello everyone. Welcome to meeting 10 of Adapted Toys for Children. We've got some pretty big updates for this week. We also have just some more recent developments with individual groups and what's going to be going on there. And we had a pretty cool idea to maybe give us a little bit more club interaction today, and kind of get everyone involved in some new ways, maybe to think about your work in the club. So we're going to offer you up a new angle to look at things today, and hopefully it'll be interactive for everyone, and hope you guys like it. So, all right, so let's meeting 10. So we're just going to go through some updates today, and then kind of go through our semi-activity, and then kind of break. I don't think we're going to do it just groups today. I think we're probably going to keep us all together to do this. Any updates you need to make for your individual groups, you're welcome to say them. If anything, it's better because different groups can hear what's going on in other projects and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're going to go through some of this stuff here. All right, so updates. The end of the semester for us is near. What that means is when we go home for Thanksgiving or just home in general, we won't be having any meetings after that. The reason being, we'll all be at home. Group 2 won't be able to work on toys. We'll all be adapting to different things, also preparing for finals. So yeah, we only have 3 meetings left then, including this one. So our last meeting will be on November 17th. And yeah, so group 1, we're in a pretty good spot right now, having nearly finished up our first toy. Madison and I were actually talking about some more recent developments and some progress that we made in figuring that toy out. So hopefully next week we'll actually have some more stuff to go off of and work with. But we're doing pretty good on that front. Group 2, if you're close enough to finishing your adaptation, or at least finishing the plans for it, maybe begin wrapping that up if you can, and schedule an appointment with Madison to actually return your toy. All members, if you have a toy on you, you have to return that before November 17th, or not before November 17th, but before we go home. Madison's going to talk to you more about individual times to meet up, like later in the month, but these are kind of like the tentative dates and times. If you're not nearly done with an adaptation yet, that's okay. You don't have to rush to finish anything up. But just try and try and see what you can get done before the end of the semester. Now you have a deadline, kind of, not really. You have an idea before when you have to stop working on it. But if you're close enough that you think you can finish it, then by all means finish it. Group 3, I mean, you're welcome to keep working on stuff over break if you want. But yeah, in any case, just keep working like you've been doing and see what you can get done before our last meeting. So yeah, over Thanksgiving break, after the break, and into winter break, basically in that time that we're all at home, updates will still be happening. We'll still be in touch with our community partners over in Pennsylvania, over at Glass, all that good stuff. We'll still be talking to them because they'll still have school, I'm pretty sure. And in any case, we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about anyway with our updates for the semester. Officers might be able to finalize some adaptations over the break. We're going to talk about that. The officers are going to kind of work that out later in the month, I guess. Once we figure out where the specific toys are at, we might be able to finish them up on our own. We also have a member who might be able to work on them before winter break, so using Purdue resources to actually finish up the adaptations and hopefully get them out. Hopefully we can get them onto Glass. If not, it's fine, but we can get some adaptations done. If there's something you'd like to work on over the break, please let us know. You still can't take our tools or toys home, but if there's a certain project that you feel passionate about that you'd like to work on your own time, feel free to let us know. I'm definitely going to be doing my research. I know Madison might be working on something over the break as well. So let us know if there's something you'd like to work on. You just can't take home our materials for obvious reasons. All right, so kind of bridging into our activity here today, we wanted to kind of talk to you about the idea of our resources, of what our club looks to in terms of inspiration, other organizations, possible partners, all that good stuff. So there are many places to look for out there for inspiration, because obviously we're not the first ones to do this kind of thing. There are long-established organizations, some more professional than us, that help do this, sometimes at a larger scale, sometimes on a more personal scale. you'll have individual families out there who have their own unique ideas. And we sometimes look to them for certain toys that we may not have thought of before, different types of adaptations, or maybe even disabilities that we should focus on, stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of run through a couple of these and kind of get you thinking of like, okay, there's a lot of stuff out there. Maybe something I've heard of in the past could be beneficial to this, or maybe I could one day, if I'm stuck on an adaptation with my current toy, I can look to places like this for inspiration. So I have a couple examples up here. Santa's Little Hackers slash Max Mods. That's basically like us, but in Colorado. They, hold on, I'm gonna find my place on here again. They're basically like us, but based in Colorado. They're kind of on a bigger scale. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so this is Santa's Little Hackers. Basically what they do is they take in different types of toys through donations. They'll ask for specific types of toys and stuff like that, and actually adapt them for kids with special needs, kind of like, you know, exactly what we do. They are all Switch adapted. I've actually asked them personally through emails and stuff like that what kinds of adaptations they do. They do entirely Switch-based adaptations, and they kind of get together and do it in workshops, and they'll kind of go through different types of toys, like stuffed animals, more action-y type toys, and get a bunch of people from the community together to actually adapt stuff like this. So it's a really cool, very like, I guess, more expansive operation that they have going on. And you can see right there, they have a bunch of boxes set up. So it's like I think it's like a once a year thing because you kind of have the holiday theme going. So this one's a little bit more like, you know, seasonal, but they get a lot of people together, and they have pre-orders that you can do and stuff like that. It's really cool. And this is like not the level that we want to get to necessarily, it's a little unrealistic, but you know, something to this effect where parents ask us for toys and we can provide them in whatever way we can. So this is just kind of like a cool way for inspiration. We've talked to them a little bit before. They've given us some pointers, and they're pretty cool. So that's Santa's Little Hackers. Max Mods, one of them is like a subgroup of another. I forget which is which, but Max Mods is kind of like the way, like the technical side of things, I think. It's how they actually adapt each unique toy. So they have a website, or not a website, well, they have a website, but also a YouTube channel, which I'm showing right here with a couple of their videos. They have a few things up, just kind of like different ways they might want to entertain your child. They have like a little battery operated bubble machine here, a dice roller, maybe for the noise that it provides, something like that, something a little more stimulating, and an actual battery operated toy. That's just kind of like an all-in-one kind of feature there. So they have a few options. They have even a thing right here for shopping for toys to adapt, stuff like that, what to look out for. So videos like that are good for, you know, traits and toys or certain types of toys to look out for. I believe they mentioned things about textures, about toys that are a little bit too complicated for simple Switch adaptation, stuff like that. So this channel is really cool. I've gone back to it a couple times for different reasons, and yeah, they're pretty nice. So that's Max Mods and Santa's Little Hackers. I also wanted to go over quickly Maru. I believe that's how you pronounce it. They are based in Europe, and they do a very similar thing. They basically do it seasonally. They go through a bunch of different types of toys. I believe they go a little bit beyond Switch adaptations. As you can see here, they have a few different products and stuff like that. But they actually also have a big event every year where they get a bunch of people together and adapt toys. They're really cute, and I really like watching what they do. If you ever want to look it up on YouTube, I can provide you a link. I'm pretty sure looking at Maru toys might give you something. But they're really cool. They've been on the news before, and they're really nice. So going back here, we also look to, you know, individual YouTube channels, because like I said, this is kind of on a more personal level too. Different parents might offer different things. So, you know, you have Max Mods, they're a little bit less personal, I guess. But something that was actually brought to me more recently was this parent right here, who shows off kind of like what she does with her children. She goes through a bunch of different aspects of like her daily life and her daily routine with them, just giving different tips with parents. And a lot of it's focused around toys. So it's not all toys, because they're kind of more based in just the general disabilities community. But we've gone through a couple of their works here just to see like kind of what they offer in terms of non-adapted toys. and really like what toys are out there on the market that are already suited for, well, not suited, but could work for a kid with special needs. So she goes through a few different methods here, and I'm actually going to show off this video if I can. Hold on one sec. Madison, can you tell me if the audio is playing here?
Hi and welcome to the vlog. I'm Tova, this is ParentXP.
Okay, awesome. So she's going to go through here some non-adapted toys. Again, this isn't really what we do. You know, these are non-adapted toys. Our name is literally Adapted Toys for Children, so you can see the difference there. But we figured this is still good for inspiration. She goes through different aspects and why certain toys are good for her kids. And I think that's really valuable if we're ever looking for something that might be better suited for certain things. Obviously, every kid's different. Every disability is different too. But, you know, you might find some good trends here.
Hi and welcome to the vlog. I'm Tova.
Go through a couple of things here. I'm going to kind of skim through it.
This is ParentXP. For a while now, I have wanted to get footage of Elin playing with toys that aren't adapted. Toys! She is actually registered as severely sight impaired. On the flip side, her hearing is perfect. She can hear so well, and she loves music, electric piano with lots of buttons that do different things, and pre-recorded songs and pre-recorded rhythms. So what we do with this is we lay it down by her feet, because her leg movement is comparatively good. Another thing that works really well for Elin's kicking is what we call the space blanket. It's one of these first aid blankets, and it crinkles. So we can lay it on the floor, put Elin on top of it. Every little tiny movement she does, it crinkles. Who would have known that there is so much you could do with a big sheet of foil?
So I'm going to kind of pause it right there because she goes through a couple examples and I want to highlight that. There are so many channels out there of parents in this community who want to share their tips, because there's so many people out there who might not necessarily know what to do. They might be new to the community. They might not have considered it. So there are a lot of videos and like blogs and stuff like that out there with people just transferring along information that are really good if you just in general want to get insight into the community and how parents play with their children and interact and kind of get them to perform higher functions and stuff like that. So it's good for us in a sense that we can kind of better empathize and understand what they're going through on a day-to-day basis, and in a more practical sense, understand what features they try to look out for and what toys they try to more creatively use for their kids. So she went through the fire blanket right there, the space blanket, which is really adorable. I really love that example because it's not even a toy, but it provides a lot of reaction from her child in many different ways. And the piano was also really cool because we actually have something very similar to that in our roster. But she goes through how her child uses it and how she uses it with her feet. It's got big keys and a lot of features and stuff like that. So the goal of this is just kind of get you to understand that there are a lot of options out there. So if you're ever stuck on a certain toy, or if you ever want to better understand what it is to look for when considering different toys, look to what's already out there. Look to what's not adapted as much as what is adapted already. See what parents are using. See what kind of features they look for, what prices, what reactions they hope to get for, what disabilities they're actually they hope to employ this towards. So all that kind of stuff. Like she mentioned, for example, her child was really functional in her legs, not in her arms. So, you know, the piano was used for her feet. She really likes a lot of noise things. She likes a lot of noisy things because her hearing, I believe she said, was fine, but her sight was not. So she was able to play with a lot of auditory things, for example. So dancing, music, toys might go very well. So stuff like that, for example. So those were just kind of a couple examples. There's so many things out there. Believe me, we've looked. If you ever want some inspiration or ever want some stuff like that. So what we're going to do now is actually not split up into groups really, because I think we should probably do this all together. And I think there's if we have any updates to give to our specific groups, any questions you might want to ask, feel free to ask us in this anyway. But we're going to kind of move into a more interactive activity. If you don't want to participate, that's fine. Just let me know, I guess. And we can talk about other things. But anyway, so let's make a database. What do I mean by this? Basically, I think it would be cool if we were to provide an additional resource for these parents in addition to, like, I said addition twice, what we do in terms of adapting toys. So if a parent might not have the tools or things necessary, we can quickly point them in the direction of, oh, well, we have these toys. These have been recommended for this disability by these parents. If you want to check out where we saw it and where you can buy it, go to this link, go to this link. So I'm going to provide this link in the chat. But basically, just the idea is we're all going, I would think it'd be really cool if we went through different websites, different YouTube channels, actually incorporated some of the stuff that I told you about today, and see what's out there, see what parents are already using. Not toys that they necessarily would think to adapt, but toys that they don't need to adapt. So basically just list, I have a Google Doc right here. Basically just list the toy, the price it comes for, a basic description of the features like, oh, this toy lights up, it teaches you counting, it sings, dances, stuff like that. Where you can buy it, preferably cheaper. I mean, the cheaper the better, I guess. But like, you know, some maybe a common retail store too, something that's not too obscure. The disability it's been recommended for, and where you found it being recommended. So if you want to look through YouTube, for example, and you've come across the YouTube channel we just found, ParentXP, you could share a link to their video. So just something like this. I'll be doing it too if you guys need an example or something like that. We'll all be going through it. And yeah, again, let me know if you would rather work on your own toy or maybe plan the button or something like that, whatever group you're in. If you'd rather do something like that, by all means. But I am going to share this link in the chat if you guys all want to. Yeah. Okay, Andre just did. Thank you, Andre. But yeah, feel free to unmute yourselves, ask questions. I figured this would be a good way to kind of just tie everything together and provide a different type of activity, something new.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's about the button part of the toy. So I started like painting the inside of it, but it really just doesn't show up at all.
Doesn't come through. Okay.
On the outside. So if we want to like do stuff with it, we'd have to do it on the outside, but we can't, like, I can't use like acrylic paint for that because it'll pick off, and that's not something that we'll want to happen.
Yeah, that was definitely like experimental just to see if that was an option. Feel free to just brainstorm different ways we could customize the buttons. But yeah, I wasn't sure if it would work. It was just kind of to see.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to let you know that it didn't.
You could add a clear coat with like Mod Podge or something fancier, but Mod Podge is pretty cheap and would probably work all right with a few coats.
Yeah, I can look into that.
Yeah, we're not asking you to like go spend money on stuff or anything. Just kind of brainstorm ideas, and if you have something that you're able to use, go ahead and like try applying it or brainstorm anything like that, you know what I mean.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, Madison, what did you, what was, or not what was the point, but I guess if you could, why did Amelia have the button, I guess? Just out of curiosity, was that just the texture thing or something?
Just to see if we could like customize them anyway, because Dr. Ann wanted them to be like colorful, because white doesn't stand out as much, and like they like colors.
Okay.
So Amelia said she had a bunch of art supplies and stuff. So since the buttons were like kind of clear, she decided, I gave her a button to experiment with, to see if she could paint the inside and see if the color would come through. So then there wouldn't be a risk of the kids like pulling the color off. but it didn't work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we talked about a few things with the buttons, so I was like,
Mhm.
which one did you give it to? Remember before? Sweet.
So I came across an interesting adaptation that I didn't know was a thing, but I think we might be able to implement at some point. Weighted stuffed animals. Apparently they're great for kids with autism. They're very soothing and offer good sensory stimulation. And I know we have a few stuffed animals that I think the Elmo's broken, so I couldn't get it to turn on when I had it. So that could be something we do if we get like stuffed toys.
Wait, how did it break? Sorry, I
I don't
don't
know,
know what the detail to get from that.
it just wouldn't turn on when I had it.
Okay.
Might have just been bad batteries, I don't know.
That's good. That's a good idea. We would
Mhm.
need sewing capabilities, though. I don't have that.
I mean, I can sew. Yeah.
I can kind of
I can sew, and something that would be really easy to weight them with and would also be really affordable is like rice.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
that could definitely work.
I
And
also
especially
kind of know how to
if
sew.
they're just stuffed animals, then if you stuff them with rice, you can also like put them in the microwave to heat them up, and they can also be like warm, so that could be like another sensory thing.
Did you get that?
That's a really
Did you get
good
that from somewhere? That sounds like a really specific good idea.
Well, I don't know, like you can make like rice packs for like sore muscles and stuff, and like I was in 4-H and we'd make them for like the nursing home for like all the people who got like aches and pains, and just donated them to them. And so it's really easy to just sew them and then you chuck them in the microwave for like a minute and then they're warm. So
That's awesome. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because this weighted stuffed animal is almost $50.
Weighted stuff is expensive, like weighted
Yeah.
blankets, all that stuff.
And it's just a little stuffed lizard. Like that shouldn't cost $50.
Good idea. You think we could do that for the baby shark?
We probably could. I don't remember if someone has the baby shark.
Hmm.
I think someone does.
I knew you got it from my apartment, so you definitely had it at one point.
Yeah. We did have a handful of toys that didn't get handed out.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's an idea. We'd have to figure out the voice box, but that's cool. That's a good idea. These are really good. I like that some of these lead to like not just they don't just get the ideas from websites about autism and stuff like that, but they actually lead to retailers that specialize in autism things. Like they're not too expensive, but they're suited for kids with special needs anyway. So I like that. The retailers thing is cool. Madison, this might be a possible semi-end game for this. Is what I was thinking. Maybe we could. I could ask Rachel from Glass if she would want something like this to maybe hand out to parents. Like we could all review it, edit it together, and then maybe hand it off to her for parents.
Yeah, I think it'd be something that would be cool to give out like before Christmas
Mm-hmm.
and be like, here's a little help for your Christmas shopping.
Exactly. That'd be really cool. Because I know now is like a huge time. It's when all these adaptation businesses do their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it seems like we have a very good list going here. If you want to wrap up or continue, by all means, adding stuff to the list. This looks very good, actually. Like I was looking through a few of these. I love the resources that they're coming from, where you can buy them. Bunch of new different websites, a lot of unique stuff on here. I think it's really cool. This is a great list, guys. And I think that, yeah, in the long run, if you heard me mention to Madison, this is something that we could provide potentially to our partner school and stuff like that. If we want to share this with parents as an additional resource, like as an optional thing and compared to our adapted toys, like we could be like, hey, we can't provide the street right now, but here's a list of other options, or something like that, just something extra. Hopefully this also gave you guys a good amount of inspiration and other things too. Maybe you found something similar to the toys you're working on. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys got something from this. Like maybe at the very least learned a little bit more about the community and how many resources there are out there. But yeah, I think I'm going to start wrapping things up now. I'm going to share my screen again. So going through the list here really quick, we have a good amount of toys and like options here. Like some of them aren't even toys; they're just like you know musical instruments, stuff like that. I just thought like little simple noise makers. It's really cool. I really like this. So great work today, guys. If you would at all like to continue with stuff like this, please let me know. If this is something that you think you'd like to do for the club in the future, that's awesome. We would be glad to have that kind of stuff. But yeah, okay. So thank you guys for coming out. This is the final slide. Again, weekly optional feedback survey. If you guys want to give us some feedback on how we've been doing, by all means. The motivation for this kind of activity actually came from some feedback that we got on our previous survey. So if you want to be responsible for like different activities, different ideas, stuff like that, please fill out the feedback survey. We really appreciate it, and we act on it in any way that we can. Hopefully this activity was fun for you guys. Hopefully it didn't stifle any of your like, I hope if you had something to tell Madison, myself, or Andre about your group work, I hope you would have told us. If not, feel free to tell us after the meeting, because I know we didn't actually have our group work today. But next week might be continued group work. I don't know. We'll see. We have a lot of stuff to do, so hopefully we get through it all. But thank you guys for coming out. Again, feel free to fill out the feedback survey, follow us on social media, and yeah, you guys are free to go.